She hit me with that the other day, told her straight up, man, my God come before that. What you talking about? If I be faithful to my God, the money gonna come. What she do? That's what happened to you. I just told you that. Didn't I just tell her that? I just told you that. I just told you that. That she didn't like it. You didn't listen. I just told you that. I guess you didn't think she was gonna strike you. Why you doing all that hollering like somebody care? Don't nobody care. It's the fact that she got struck. She didn't think she was going to get struck. She already said she don't want to eat that food. She don't like it. And I told her to go eat her food. She said she didn't want to. She doesn't like it.
How you feel about Kara spending her money to come down there for Passover? What
you mean? Yeah, you gonna tell the nigga they can't take a trip?
I was like, nigga, she wrong, nigga. They said a grown nigga.
Yeah, I'm talking about, so you gonna tell a nigga, screw your God, put the money back in your business. Like, nigga, don't even cost that much money to make that trip, son. I don't know why niggas think it costs a lot of money to travel anywhere, because it really don't. It's probably the most the most expensive thing when it comes to travel might be your lodging. And that's if you go, I'm saying, but if you go on the right website, and you don't explain to everybody, if you go on the right website, you ain't gonna pay a lot of money for that. Niggas going to Europe for about $500-600 round trip. This nigga sit back and talk about somebody spending some money to take a trip, and this nigga spend his money on God knows what. You trick off on hoes on the regular. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah. Why you want to come back home? The kid beat him up. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know about that envelope in there?
What envelope?
The envelope in that Bar-Star envelope?
Who?
That Bar-Star envelope?
No.
They had $20.
From who?
I think Johnny Mama.
Oh, you got your card? Who you got at Maple?
Huh?
You got at Maple?
We don't discipline.
Well, everybody, praise the Lamb. What we're going to continue on with is what we started in Matthew chapter 7, and also something else. And I'm going to let this be known, because there's a couple people that know this because I've said something to them about this. Don't jump off of there again. Sit down and eat. It's amazing when somebody else's food that y'all can sit there and be still, but when it's your own food, y'all want to play. Renee, are you going to eat your food? Sit down and eat your food, don't you? No, I know she's not going to eat. She already told me she doesn't like it. I don't want your food. You eat it. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? But there's a particular gentleman, he's been going hard about how to master faith. I want y'all to know that what we finna do ain't got nothing to do with him. This was planned before this gentleman even began to do this. We were talking about that the word for believe Aman or Amin or Amen, whatever you want to call it. That's the word for believe in a lot of places. So we were already going to deal with that before this clown started doing the stuff that he was doing. But it's going to coincide and tie in with not casting your pearls before swine. You know, I had a conversation with one of the brothers, and this was real specific because he's seen that I did that. And I told another one of our people I probably start doing it even more. Because I do it, but I probably started doing it even more. And that's, you know what I'm saying, it's certain times where people want me to explain certain stuff to certain people, and I won't do it. I won't do it because these same people who you getting this information to will turn around and destroy you. And we're going to turn around and we're going to see that the very thing that the master said, the people did it to him, and it was done before him. You know what I'm saying? And it could quite well be done unto those whom he has put his word in their mouth. You know, y'all willing that on the morrow that we will continue looking at the genealogies. So that's already been set. Y'all already know that. We'll be on 103rd on the morrow. I ain't forgot about that neither too, Trin. I just trying to work that in right now. I be trying to take naps. I was off in these streets, then I had to go to the gym. And after that, I had to get something to eat. And by that time, it was almost 7 o'clock. I think that was the proper address for that. So, yeah. And the reason being why I'm choosing to deal with this here, and it was ironic with the young gentleman who came through with that later, or what he was on, was just on the simple fact of, there's a lot of people that don't actually really believe the word. You know what I'm saying? I've told y'all this before, that this man will put you in situations and circumstances to try your heart to see if you believe it or not. He has to do it to be able to sit back. See, a lot of people think, okay, I'm keeping these commandments, I'm going to be accepted, he's going to take me, you know what I'm saying? Or they feel like he's supposed to take you, but your heart has to be tried. What you think the furnace of affliction is about? You have to be tried, you have to be purged. It has to be shown that you truly believe, because many people don't truly believe. So he will put you in situations and circumstances to try your heart, whether you believe or not. A lot of people are set in situations and circumstances, and it's manifested that they don't believe. I am a firm believer in this here, that there is no one who falls away from the truth or turns away from the truth. True indeed, the word does say that people turn back and fall away, without question. You know what I'm saying? But when we actually delve into it with the word, it says that they did it because of unbelief. So in actuality, they never believed in the first place. We had another particular topic, I think I mentioned that to y'all, probably most high willing. If it don't coincide with certain in them genealogies, we probably deal with it, y'all willing, next week. And that's the fact of that love never fails. Most people, when they turn from the master, they turn from the word itself, it's because they never believed. And they never loved him. Never loved him. Never loved him. Never loved him. You know what I'm saying? Never loved him. Never loved him. Because the word says that clearly, that love doesn't fail. So, if love doesn't fail and somebody turns and regresses in the word and goes back on the word It's because they never loved him. If somebody said, quote unquote, they lost their faith, it's because they never loved him. You know, the book tells you, curse be the man that trusteth in man. You know, and anybody who's been around me, they know that I'll never point you to myself. We're going to point you to look at Mashiach. A lot of times where people get crossed up in is they looking at men. I'm going to tell you something, right? And there's examples of this in the word. No matter what a man does. Hello? Hello? What's happening? No matter what a man does, that should not affect your faith in the living Elohim. If what a man does can make you lose faith in your God, and your faith was in that man, it was never in your God, and that man gonna cast you away because you cursed, you damned, because you trusted in man, you didn't trust in him. You put your hope and salvation in a man. Now it's different if it's like a Jim Jones or that white dude, what it is, Heaven's Gate, where they were bewitching the people to put their trust in them. You know what I'm saying? You still a fool. That's why the people died. You know what I'm saying? But if as Paul wrote in his second epistle to the Corinthians, that we preach not ourselves but Yahushua HaMashiach, and you still put your trust, faith, and hope in a man, you are a fool. And you deserve whatever you receive. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. You know what I'm saying? Some men, like I say, some men do it purposely, because the master told you that my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. If any man do his will, he will know if the doctrine is mine or if I speak of himself. He that speak of himself seeketh his own esteem, but he that seek the esteem of him that sent him, that man say the same is true, and there's no unrighteousness in it. So this man give you clues on what to look for to be able to discern who is of Yah and who is not. We don't pay attention to none of that stuff. It's like this man say by their fruits, you're going to know them, and then you sit back and you don't pay attention to what people doing for you to be able to know if they have Yah or if they have Satan. We just talked about clearly on Wednesday with the wheat and the tares that Greek word for tares literally means wheat that is black. So it looks just like a wheat, but you can't really tell. It's just a slight difference in the tare. You might not even be able to tell the difference. So that's why the master told you that in Matthew. It's the fruits which is going to give you the ability to tell the difference. Because they're going to look like Yasharal, and they're going to talk like Yasharal. They might even smell like Yasharal. They might even dress like Yasharal. But they not Yasharal, though. Their actions is what's going to be able to allow you to tell the difference. And those actions will be dictated by the level of faith that that person possesses. If that person doesn't possess any faith, then they won't be able to possess any good fruit. Like everybody love to talk about, we done went over this several times. Everybody love to talk about fruits of the Spirit, fruits of the Spirit, fruits of the Spirit, fruits of the Spirit. But then you know that man say the good seed is the seed that fall in the ground and die. And if it die, it brings forth much fruit. So in order for that fruit to be manifested on the Ruach, a person would have had to die. And people are not dying, so you masquerading those fruits. Those fruits are not real. When put under scrutiny and put under pressure, it's going to fold up and wither up. It's not, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I can realize when the scrutiny comes, when the pressure comes, when the temperature get turned up on the nozzle a little bit. Turn up the temperature a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Take the temperature from 25 degrees to 80 degrees. You know what I'm saying? That's an extreme temperature jump. And I ain't just saying like this because just a couple of days, last week, we had a day where it was 43 degrees and the temperature jumped up to 75. That's a massive jump. That's a massive jump. You have to sit back and realize when the master went through what he went through, that was the furnace of affliction. That was to prove whether he believed or not. Because he easily could have did just like he told Peter, man, I could get 12 legions of Malachian right now, bro. I could do that right now, bro. He could have turned around and say, you know what? I ain't going through that. I'm finna dip. I'm finna hide. I'm finna use my powers. I'm finna do something because I'm not finna no. And then his faith would have failed. And then he would have been condemned, and all of us would have been condemned along with him. Because you have to be tried. You have to be proved out. It's real easy to say how much you love him, how much you believe in him, when you haven't had any tribulation or trouble to prove you out. You know what I'm saying? That's real easy for a nigga to say that. You know what I'm saying? And some people, they don't want that trouble because they want it in their head. They feel like, okay, if I'm dealing with God, I shouldn't have to want for nothing. Or it's just that in the third, them niggas don't even realize they don't be want for nothing because man told you as long as you got food, clothing, and shelter, you straight. You know what I'm saying? If you're clothed, if you got food in your bed, man say today is sufficient of the day. So if you had clothes to put on your body today, and you had food to put in your belly today, and you had a roof over your head today, then you straight. Because there's somebody who got all of those things and going to hell. I think niggas forget about the parable with Lazarus and the rich man. He told the rich man that you live lovely in your life, and Lazarus had trouble. Now you going to hell, and Lazarus getting in the kingdom. And you know what you dumb niggas do? You envy the sinners, and you envy these people who had this stuff that look like that they can do whatever it is that they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And they getting everything they want to get, not realizing that they going to hell afterwards. I just was talking to my homeboy in Dallas, man. I just be telling him. I be in public, bro. I see people, I feel sad for them. I'm talking about all people, too. Not just our people, white people and all. Because these people have no idea. None. They just living their life. You know what I'm saying? On a natural level, these probably cool and good people. So you talking about the spiritual level, because the spiritual level and the outside of y'all, they all wicked. They all sinners. You know what I'm saying? He can't stand none of them. But I'm talking about on the natural level, these are probably cool, good people. And these people finna get slaughtered by the beast first. And then gonna have to get woke up again to beat up. But don't get it twisted. These people know the word. They may not know it like you know it. But they know certain things that they doing are wrong. And that there's a judgment for it, and they despise it, and they don't care. You got white people, black people, Asian people, African people, Arab people that get up and go to church every single solitary Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that they're doing what's correct, and they have no reward coming. I done heard dudes say them Christians get killed in the Middle East, and they ain't got no reward coming. Their service was in vain. Hello? Hello? That's the hardest thing that you could sit there and think of. Because people done got mad at me for saying that. Okay, that Christian got killed because of the word. But according to this word, they served this man in vain. So their service was worthless. And he's not going to accept it. You know what I'm saying? So they did it for nothing. And people get in, they feel like this had a lady just, which she, I understood what she meant. She was like, when people get in the word, they act like they can't love people. But she was talking about love between spouses and mates. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily showing love to other people, but feel like, I was telling them, I was raised like this before the word, so I'm just going to let that be known. You know what I'm saying? I was raised before the word that love is an action word. It's a verb. It's not a feeling. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel love. You show love. That's what we were taught. My grandma taught that, and that's what was passed down. You know what I'm saying? So like we were taught, if you say you love a woman or you love a man, the first thing my people was going to ask is, what do you love about him? What do you love about her? And if you stood there and looked at him crazy, then they say, oh, well, you don't love that man. You just lusted. You know what I'm saying? That was going to be their response. Because if you love somebody, then you would know what it is you love about them. You would be able to speak that. And then the things that you love about them is how you reciprocate by showing. Like I mean, we were young. Because me and my homeboy, we used to talk about this kind of stuff. Like my homeboy was like, the only way that he was taught how to show love in his youth was to buy things. That's the only thing he knew because that's what his people did. That's how they showed love. They bought things. You know what I'm saying? Our people didn't do that. But at the same time, my people wasn't overly affectionate. You know what I'm saying? So all that hugging, touching, and kissing and all that type of stuff, they did it, but it wasn't old. Once you got to a certain age, they didn't do it as much. You know what I'm saying? They like, okay, especially with a boy, you look too old for me to be touching on you, kissing on you all like that. But when you was this here big though, coming up, they did that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that was their way of when once you got older that you knew that they loved you. You know what I'm saying? But they would, my people would correct you. You know what I'm saying? But it's that then the third. But after they would correct you, they would sit down and tell you what you did wrong. Like after they whooped you, they would tell you what you did wrong and the consequence of that behavior. You know what I'm saying? They implore by showing love on, you need to read, you need to learn things, you need to seek information for yourself. That's how our family told, like, you sitting around waiting for somebody to tell you something, you ain't gonna never learn it. What you waiting on somebody to tell you something for if you want to know something? If you want to know something, then go figure it out. Go find that out. And you'll be surprised how somebody will pop up along your way to help you if you're looking for this. If you're not looking for this, anybody's going to help you. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't handle that harshness. Like people like want to be say like let it be a little gentler and this, that, and the third. Because you know everybody's different. But like I told y'all a couple weeks ago, the master rarely ever told us that he loved us. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't walk, but he showed it. That's why we look at what Peter said. Peter said, "You know that I love you. You know it." So why would Peter be so confident enough to say that Yahushua would know that he loved him? Because he had been showing it to him. And what is it that would make him love Yahushua? It would be because of who he is, what he represents, and what he does. And that's what I mean on people never loved Yah in the first place. You never loved what he was about. You don't love what he's about. Because there's envy with most people, man. It's underlying things in your heart that this man is against, that you don't like. So what you try to do is you try to make it seem like it's the person who preaching the word, that's their feelings and that's their opinion to make you feel better about the thoughts in your heart that you have against the things that Yah is against that you like. And the whole time people are figuring out in their mind, how can they get around looking for a loophole to do what it is that he's against that they like. Don't get it twisted. It's not very many people that love this man and what he stands for. And I've told y'all this before, and I'll tell you again. If they don't love your father and they don't love your king and the aspect of his word, they cannot love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in the aspect of his word. I'm not talking about naturally. Because naturally, they probably do love you. But spiritually, they can't because they want to see you die. They don't have a care for your soul. Someone who doesn't have a care for your soul cannot love you in the sense like Yahuwah loves. Because if you care for somebody's soul, then you're going to do the things that's artificial. You're going to be trying to be kind with them. You're going to try to be gentle with them. But you're also going to be, you know, the strongest aspect of the Ruach that people are always claiming but don't necessarily know what the definition of the word is. And I've told you this before, is meekness. Meekness is taking injury with patience. That's actually being patient and not fighting back or striking back against somebody who's doing you wrong over an extended period of time. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't have the wherewithal to take that because your natural inclination is to snap. You know what I'm saying? That's why he said Moses was the meekest man on the face of the earth, because they were trying him repeatedly. Repeatedly. Y'all don't even sit back and look at, most of y'all would have took what that man had to take, doing a job that he didn't ask for. You know what I'm saying? Leading a people who didn't even believe in the person who sent him to lead them. When he came to deliver to break up his brothers from fighting, they went off on him. When he came to sit back and do this here, the people complained. Oh, they working us harder, man. Why you doing this to us? When they came up out of there, all they did was size him and try him repeatedly. And this man prayed for y'all not to kill the people who were trying him. And nigga can't even sit back and look at it. That's love. Because he loved you enough. If Moses would have said, Father, you know what? Kill all them niggas. He'd have killed them. He'd have killed them. He even tried Moses with that. Man, look at man. Just step back to the side. I'll kill all them and make a nation out of you greater than them. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do that. He didn't do that. That's why we sit back looking at. A lot of people know precepts. A lot of people, but you ain't actually know the word and internalize the word to understand it, to even pay attention when somebody's actually showing a godly attribute. Because there were times when Moses snapped. When they made that golden calf, he showed melted it down and made them niggas drink it. Drink it. Straight up, drink it. Drink it. You know what I'm saying? And he got slick out the mouth with him a couple times. Nigga, I ain't broke all you niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's why he got so mad and struck the rock instead of speaking to it. Because it was the people. The people had him so clouded and disgust of them trying him continually that crept in the way he died of his Elohim because of that. And not sanctify the man and do what he told him to do because of the people. See, I had a brother tell me this other day with some brothers on the phone. They were like, yeah, man, we finna start preaching against sin. You ain't gonna have a lot of followers with that. I'm like, nigga, you supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing, what I would tell them though is, when you do that, man, these people gonna come for you. And they'll blame you for their sins. Like, I'm gonna tell you something, right? I don't know how to be responsible for what other people do. I don't know how to do that. I don't want to be responsible for what I do. If a nigga goes sin and blame the preacher, how did the preacher put the penis in your mouth? You know what I'm saying? How did the preacher put the blunt in your mouth? How that happen? The preacher ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? What the preacher would have got something to do with is if he don't warn you that you're going to hell for that. That if you don't repent, you will die in that transgression. That's what he's going to be held accountable for. He ain't going to be held accountable for what you did. You're going to be held accountable for what you did. But you know what's even funnier? That when you correct people or speak on, I'm going to stand in front of the judgment seat of the Lord by myself. What? But in the same breath, you'll blame somebody for what you did? But in the same breath, say you got to stand before him by yourself? But these people is backwards. I'm talking about donkey backwards, mule backwards, horse backwards, dog backwards, everything backwards. There's no fear of Elohim in the land. You know what I'm saying? There's surely no. This man say, I'm going to avenge you speedily. Will I find faith on the earth? It ain't none. I'm like I said, if nobody else won't say it, I'll say it. It ain't none. When I say none, I mean it's scant. I mean it's very small. Very, very small. You know what I'm saying? It's like trying to find a poppy seed on a slice of bread after it come off. And it fall on the carpet. You can't even see it. And the carpet is the same color as the bread. You just give up. We just have to vacuum that up. I'm not looking for this one. You know what I'm saying? It's that hard. It's that because it's not very many people because they don't actually trust in his salvation. You don't really trust that this man can free you from sin. You don't actually trust that. You don't actually believe what he says. You won't actually stand firm in the face of adversity and sorrow and tribulation and persecution. This man Paul wrote, what will separate us from the love of Mashiach? Niggas get separated off, a little bit of trouble come, they sinning again. You never loved him. You never loved him. Niggas get exposed all the time. And you think after this man done exposed you, you think you can get a comeback? Well, this ain't cooking crack. But you might not be able to come back from that. Because I'm going to be honest with you. The man going to look at it is, if you don't love me then, how you going to love me now? I'm talking about when you supposed to know him. I'm not talking about in your ignorance or you just beginning. I'm talking about you supposed to know him at this point. You begin to say that you know the information. You know what I'm saying? You claiming you internalize the information. You claim to live the information. You're professing faith in this man. And then when some persecution, tribulation, hunger, nakedness, peril, sword come, you turn back. Are there instances where he redeems some people on that? Are people? There ain't very many instances of an individual though. It's not that very many instances of an individual. And I'm not talking about a singular event where, because I know people think about David, and David wasn't in no persecution and tribulation. David got horny. He seen a butt naked woman and lost his mind. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? You look at Saul. Saul got tried. He failed. He tried him again. He failed again. He said, you know what? Let me try him a third time. Failed. Because you didn't believe in me. You didn't love me. Because after you seen I was upset with you the first time, you would definitely handle that the second time. And then you would turn around and see, after y'all cut him off, you see he got progressively worse. So we're breaking this man's laws where it was nothing for him to do it. The example of the reprobate mind, as Paul wrote to you in Romans. See, we focus on this thing because The time is getting short, and the day of your salvation is near at hand. And you have to understand that you need to guard your heart, like we talked about last week, because the time is approaching, and you get tried, you ain't been guarding your heart. You could get yourself cut off. Your ancestors got cut off in the wilderness for unbelief. We talked about that Wednesday. Don't give that which is Kadesh unto dogs. So a rebellious, impure-minded individual, he can't give you the Ruach HaKodesh, and you rebellious, and your mind unclean, and you don't believe. He can't give it to you. He won't give it to you. You have to remember, if you're rebellious, you're a witch. He can't allow you to live. You can't be quickened with that type of mind. So let me tell you something, right? I thank Yah by way of our master, Yahushua, right? That he even allowed me to even know his testimony to relay it. But you know what I'm going to tell y'all, man, that I done realized over what this is, going on year 5 of actually relaying it, that all people ever really paid attention to is that we were pointing out that where he was located at. And not actually, and I told y'all this before, this is the first time I said this, and not paying attention to the actual underlying message of what we were looking at when we were pointing him out. It was all about, see, this is about Yahushua right here. See, this is about the Messiah right here. It was never about that. It was never about that. It was always about for you to know the man so you could believe on his name and then see the plan of salvation or see the underlying spiritual principle, whether it was positive or whether it was negative, that you could take it and have wisdom, and all getting all you say, and all you'll get wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding. So you would have insight, because without understanding, you worthy of death. So you would know what to do and what not to do. But all niggas took it for is, he be showing where the master at. And it was never about that. And this is not, and anybody can bear witness, this is not the first time that I ever said this. And you know why he don't let y'all, some of y'all catch that? Because you weren't supposed to catch it. You were supposed to think that's all it was about. Just pointing him out. You weren't supposed to catch that stuff. Why he said you got ears, but you can't hear. You got eyes, but you can't see. You got a heart, but you can't understand to be converted that I should heal you. He said, because your heart has been hardened. And your ears are closed. That's all dudes ever thought it was. That's because I done had too many niggas. Oh, he's just trying to flex what he know. You think that's it? If I wanted to flex what I know, I could be doing I could be talking about a whole lot of other things than what I be talking about. All he talk about is going to hell. That's all you heard. You only heard talking about going to hell because you know you going. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing how one person can hear something and hear the whole of the matter. And some people hear the part that pertains to them, whether, boy, I need to tighten up, or that gave me strength to keep on going, let me know I'm on the right path, I'm standing firm, or it confirmed the question I had, or this, that, and the third. But a wicked nigga only hear, I'm going to hell. That's all he hears. You know what I'm saying? I don't care though. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to please men. We're here to please Elohim. You please men, you're not a servant of Elohim. That's what some of y'all problem is too. You worry about pleasing men. What about worry about pleasing your God? He the one you need to please. He the one you need to be worried about. Leah, listen. Leah, go get your hat. Lizzie, go get your hat. Pardon me while I go get my water. I'm telling y'all something too, man. I was just telling my homeboy in Dallas this dude, I think it was yesterday. Cause he be going hard about stuff. And you know what I'm saying? I wasn't calling him out. I say, boy, just make sure you're on point, man. Cause when you go hard on certain stuff, boy, niggas gonna come for you. I'm talking about niggas gonna nitpick your whole life. Now, that nigga clipped his toenails wrong. You don't listen to that nigga. I know a lot of people, he say nigga too much. He said, I don't care. Because everybody got it in there. You know their problem is everybody got an ideal of what they feel like a preacher is supposed to be. Ain't nowhere in that book where they say what a preacher's supposed to be other than his conduct. You probably wouldn't have liked Elijah either because he was a gangster. That man called for thunder to come down, for lightning from Samahim to come down and knock off a whole bunch of people. I guarantee you some of y'all have been like, oh, he's not a God. No man of God wouldn't do that. He said, oh, I'll be a man of God. Let fire come down from heaven and kill all you niggas. They were good and dead too. I guarantee you wouldn't like the lyncher either. Gangster. This man called for bears to come kill 42 children who cursed him. Huh? When the king came through and he said, step on these arrows, man, he stepped on it 2-3 times. The lyncher went off on it. He said, you should have hit it about 6-7 times till they were fully consumed, you idiot. That's how I know people don't really look at the prophets and look at the people who came before and really look at these were warriors and soldiers and hard men. The master described himself, I've been saying this from the first time I read it. He described himself as an austere man that's rigorously self-disciplined and uncompromising. This is how Hamashiach described himself, that he was rigorously self-disciplined and uncompromising. You know how many niggas get in the word and be ready to compromise it for people? Matthew chapter 25. With the parable of the talents, he told us, he said, you know that I'm an austere man. I'll tell y'all the verse. Give me 1 second. I'll put it up there. What is that? Let me see. 27. No, it ain't in this one here. Give me a second. I can pull this because he asked what I said. My bad. That's Luke 19, verse 21. Austere man. You might hear that sometimes when they talk about certain things financially. We're going to get ready to pray too, but it's after 9 o'clock. Now, the Greek word for austere, I can tell you what it is, though. It's austeros. And it says of mind and manners, harsh, rough, and rigid. So the master described himself as a harsh, rough, rigid man. That's how he described himself. If you actually look how he spoke, how he moved, that's an accurate description. When you look at most of the prophets, that's an accurate description. The master was very harsh and rough with false prophets. He was very harsh. He was harsh and rough with wicked people, period. You know what I'm saying? And he never compromised. He never compromised. You can never compromise. The moment you compromise the word is the moment you show Yahuwah you don't believe him. You don't compromise the word for nobody. You know what niggas do? For the sake of peace, sake of figure, screw that, nigga. I'm not compromising what's right for peace. That's a coward move. That man said he didn't come to bring peace, but to bring a sword, to bring division. So that means whatever he coming to bring, if you standing on that, you got to stand on that. You can't compromise that to please a nigga. That's what cowards do. Men don't do that. You don't compromise what you believe in to please no man for no sake of peace. When does it stop? Niggas compromise to please their old ladies. You know what I'm saying? What type of woman would even want a man who would compromise what he's standing on to please her? Then you know you got a weak man. Ain't no real woman gonna want no man that would compromise what he say he stand on for her unless she was wicked. Because only a wicked woman would even try you with that. Only a wicked woman would purposely come up in her brain with something to come at you with to see if you'll compromise a word. A righteous woman wouldn't do nothing like that. Don't be around here and have nobody have to tell you like Job had to tell his wife, you sound like one of them foolish women talking stupid. He didn't say she was talking, she was no foolish woman because of nothing other, because she was talking against y'all. You talking stupid. Any woman that go against the word, talk against the word, she's stupid. Men too. That junk ain't nothing to be proud of. Come on, little Lizzie. Come on, Pop. Do you want to say hello? Do you want to say hello? Come on, Travis. You heavy. You want to say hello, Travis? Say hello, Travis. All right, Travis. All right, righteous Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather on that Shabbat. We thank you for the opportunity to hear thy word, to learn righteousness and to learn truth. And we might be quickened by thy Ruach HaKodesh to be counted as the sons and daughters of living Elohim. We ask you to look upon this people, to the whole house of Yahshua, to the Yahudim first, also to the heathen, all those who serve thee and love thee and trust in thee. Let thy mercy be with them and quicken them according to thy word. Remember all the synagogues and assemblies of Yahuwah and folk on earth, and beroot them individually and collectively, and let the love of Hamashiach go up through the living God, dwell in their hearts by faith. Strengthen them according to truth and righteousness, and visit them with a word, that thy salvation might be preached, that thy mercies might be learned, that men everywhere might repent and come to the high calling of Yahushua HaMashiach, to the deliverance of their soul. Remember the hosts and the Shamahim and the Kaddish apostles and prophets that paved the way of faith, and send laborers into thy harvest, for the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. The word which you covenanted with our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob might be fulfilled, that uncircumcised hearts might be humble, that we might return unto thee to serve thee, and Ruach and the truth, that you might be our Elohim, and we might be thy people. Remember the whole assembly of the firstborn, individually and collectively, let the love of Hamashiach dwell in our hearts by faith. Guide us to strengthen us according to thy truth, according to thy righteousness, according to thy mercies, that we might be uplifted by thy word. Let us be drawn into thy Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, to learn of him, to trust in him, to let him conform our minds and hearts unto him, that we might show ourselves to be your children. Father, as we proceed further, we ask you to work from high word, truth, and righteousness, and may come to us, and we may know that is true, that we are in him that is true, even thy Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. This is the true Elohim and eternal life. Father, we give praise, esteem, and honor, esteem to the Most High Yah by Hashem Yahushua this day. So be it. Vamos. All right, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. John 5:39, everybody. After that, Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Oh my, that was pretty rough, boy. John 5:39. Search the scriptures for any of you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? So let's go on over here to Matthew 7 and 6. Our people's problem is they're not seeking the honor that comes from Elohim only. You know, I was just talking about this the other day, and this is a true statement that was spoken unto me. I can't take credit for it. But most Hebrews' problem is they be worried about the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? That was what's wrong with your ancestors, whether it was 2,000 years ago or whether it was in the wilderness. And that's what the problem is now. So this is what we were discussing. And it's not to say that we won't ever actually go through it. It's just not anywhere near on the priority list. You know what I'm saying? We can have a discussion about it like off the record. But niggas argue about the earth being flat around incessantly. You know what I'm saying? And then niggas say like, that is not a regular person discussing. That's a nigga who on the internet discussing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. Because the reason I say that because the average person does not give much thought into if the earth is flat around. They don't even really care. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of our people will use that guise of it's about truth. Well, if it's about truth and you believe it's flat, then you would drop that information and you would be done with it. The constant beating people over the head only tells me about maybe possibly three things. One, you're trying to convince yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're solidified in what you believe in, then you don't even have the need to keep telling somebody something over and over again. Because if you feel the need, which is the reason this is really a segue to something else that we can lead to. If you really feel the need to tell somebody something over and over and over again, you're trying to convince yourself. Because his preachers were never instructed on telling somebody something over and over and over again. He said if they didn't receive it, to cut them short or to reject them. You know what I'm saying? If you firm in what you believe in, you don't have no need to try to convince anybody about anything. You know what I'm saying? The second is, niggas like to argue. And the third thing is, niggas like to flex what they know. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's not really about, because if you felt like the earth was flat, you'll hit a nigga off with them precepts and you keep it moving. If you want to believe the earth round, then so be it. I done showed you. I'm done with it. I ain't gonna keep talking to you about it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what niggas do? I seen a nigga say, somebody said, son, a nigga say, see, you believe in NASA. Ain't a nigga walking around here trusting NASA, man. Ain't a nigga, we go to projects right now, we go to Project Crosstown right now. Ain't nobody thinking about, boy, I sure do trust in NASA, boy. They say that earth round, boy. You know NASA be dropping that info. Nigga, go ask a nigga what NASA stand for, they can't even tell you. But you got niggas saying NASA in Hebrew is a word, it means the seed. And I'm like, stupid nigga, NASA is not even a word, it's an acronym. Niggas don't even know what it stands for. I know niggas can't spell the second word in NASA. The A, aeronautical. We'll be here all day. But there's a reason why I said that. And it's Matthew 7:6. He said, give not which is kadesh unto the dogs, neither cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you. This man say, don't cast your pearl before swine. Don't cast your pearl before swine. Now, why would the master say this here? Why would he tell you don't do this here? Look what it, and let's see, right? The Greek word for pearl here is margaritas. And it literally means a pearl or a proverb or a word of great value. So he's sitting here telling you, do not cast your proverbs before swine. And you know, just for general principle, we're going to have to go through this word just to see what a proverb is for those who may not know. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to be able to do that for those who do not know. So, as a matter of fact, Proverbs chapter 1. So you can see what a proverb is. When the word for swine is just swine, you know what swine is. But guess what? We're gonna look in the law and see what a swine is, and get freaky with it, get nasty with it. Proverbs chapter 1, right? We'll start at verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of Daud, King Malik of Yasharal, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. Look what it says it does so. To give subtlety to the simple. Now, we went over this before. When we're talking about subtlety, it ain't talking about deception. It's talking about skill. Hold on, because I want to make this clear for y'all. When we look at subtlety, it's it's craftiness or prudence or wisdom. It's to give you prudence. When you simple, it means you stupid. You know what I'm saying? So hold this right here. Hold it Proverbs 1, right? And go to Psalms 19. Hold it Proverbs 1 and just go to Psalms 19. Now the Hebrew word for simple is pethe, and it's naive or foolish or open-minded, which means it ain't good. We talked about this before. It ain't good to be open-minded. That's why the book tell you to guard your heart. The issues of life come up out of it. Be open-minded if you want to. You open yourself up to the adversary. Psalms 19, right? Verse 7. So the Torah of Yahuwah is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahuwah is sure, making wise the simple. He said this is what it does. So when we sit back and look at it, right, a proverb is to give prudence or wisdom or skill to a foolish or naive person. What is somebody that's naive? Is somebody who doesn't know any better. Right? Ephesians chapter 4, verse 17. You still holding Proverbs chapter 1. Just bear with me. After Ephesians 4 and 17, 1 Corinthians chapter 1. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got to get there. Ephesians 4 and 17. This is what he tells you, right? This I say therefore and testify in the Master, that you henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having their understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Elohim through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart. Because you were simple and you didn't know. That's why he say the testimony is short, make wise the simple. You were blind. You didn't know no better. But hold on. Because I said I'd do this for somebody. I'm going to do it. Hold this. Go to Genesis chapter 46 and verse 1. See how he say he came because of the blindness of their heart, they couldn't see. (46:1). And Yasharal took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the Elohim of his father Isaac. Elohim spake unto Yasharal in the visions of the night. So what would this make him if he spoke to him? So we just talked about somebody last week. If he spoke to him in the visions of the night, hold on. Read the line. Hold on. I gotta pull my book out for this one here. I tell him to make it plain now. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Go over the book of Job. I want to say the 33rd chapter. He say he spoke to him in the visions of the night, right? Say a proverb give wisdom to the simple, right? Okay, Job 33. I didn't want to make so. I didn't want to make so. They had to make it plain. And make it plain, make it easy for you to understand. Let me make sure it's 33 that I want. It might be 34. Give me a moment. There it is. It's 33. Pray the Lamb. I ain't got too bad with it. You're going to get old sometimes. It ain't as quick as it used to be. 33 and 14. Listen to what he tell you, right? Listen to what he tell you. Listen to what he tell you of what the visions in the night or the proverbs, why he say don't give your proverbs before swine. And we're going to sit back what he say where they're going to rend them and they're going to trample them under their feet. Listen to what he tell you. For Elohim speak once, yea twice. If he's speaking twice, why does he say he speak once, yea twice? Yet men perceive it not. What do y'all, I got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? We might not get on some of the other stuff I was talking about all the way live, what I just mentioned. But I got to deal with that. He said, Elohim spake yea once and twice, men perceive it not. What do you think he mean when he say that? Anybody got an idea what he think he mean? Nobody got an idea? It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, because he got to have 2 to 3 witnesses. But he say, Elohim speak yea once, twice, men perceive it not. So what does he mean? Let's look and see. John chapter 5, verse 29. John 5, 29. Those were not wrong answers, by the way. Just not what I was thinking about. You know, I tell you that just because you say something they may not be what I'm looking for doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just not the lines of what my mind, in the direction that my mind is going at this particular time. But never think that is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because what y'all said, it wasn't wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just like what you said. Like I said, that wasn't wrong. That's not what we're looking for. The key things you got to focus on is saying, who said he spoke twice? You know what I'm saying? Who did Job say? He say, Elohim, God spoke twice. See, I ain't actually went and dug it all the way out yet. Because Elohim is what? What type of word is it? No, it's plural. Like, I mean, literally. It's plural. So he said Elohim spoke once, twice, they perceived it not. So if he spoke once, spoke twice, there you go. And they didn't perceive it. Yahuwah spoke, Yahusha spoke, they didn't catch it. 5 and 30. 31 is better. John 5 and 31. He said, if I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. There's another that bear witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witnessed of me is true. Remember Job 16 and 19. Always remember Job 16 and 19. My witness is in Shamahim, and my record is on high. Yeah, she in the bed now, Sister Michelle. She's crying right now. She doesn't want to go to bed. If there's a witness in Shamahim and a record on high, that means the Father had to set a record and a witness of someone. People always want to say, oh, Yahusha is not the Messiah, this, that, and that's cool. But you're going to have to identify who is this person, because it ain't Joe. So you know what's funny when they say, if you say, well, who's the witness that he's witness of in Samahim, and who is this with the record? It ain't JC. Thou sayest. Because I didn't say it, I just asked you, who could it be? I didn't say it was Yahusha. If I was going to say it was Yahusha, I just would have said, nigga, it's Yahusha. I would have did all of that. I'm asking you, according to your understanding and the dividing of the scriptures, who is this referring to? Whom do he speak of? And with the Ethiopian, does he speak of himself or some other man? Whom do he speak of? Is Isaiah speaking of himself or some other man? Well, we need to know who is he, because how Elohim spoke once and twice. We would have to sit back and take that. He only spoke once in the Old Testament. So why does it say he's speaking twice? Because he got to fulfill his law. It's got to be 2 or 3 witnesses. Instead of just mentioned, it's got to be. That's what Deuteronomy 19 and 15 says. The mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, all things are established. But what do clown niggas say? Oh, it's Catholic. I told my homeboy this other day. Niggas say, oh, the Catholics got a whole bunch of books in their library. Nigga, how do you know? Because at the end of the day, don't none of us actually know that. That we just say that's what people say they got. And they might have books of butt-naked boys in there for all we know. Because ain't nobody actually been like, and it just hit my mind the other day because everybody done said it. You know, got all type of books in their library. Because somebody said that. But nobody's actually seen it. So this could be an urban legend for all we know. They may not have nothing in there. We don't know. They ain't been in there. And you know what's funny? You're going to take a white man word for it. The same people who you say tell lies. So I don't understand the rationale in the thinking. Because it's what goes in and you show yourself to be a hypocrite. And homemade, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? They believe in it. Like, and you know where we get it from? We read these books from these, you know, quote unquote conspiracy theorists and all the people. They say, you know, the Catholics got these books in their head, and we believe it. But who's actually seen these books? What books do they have? And 99.9% of the time, they books from pagan people who have no attachment to Yahuwah whatsoever. So you expect me to take the word of a sinner. I don't care what no sinner got to say about Yah. Oh yeah, I'm a real. This sinner say Yah's not real. This sinner say Yahushua was made up. A sinner? I'm a believer. A sinner? A sinner. Niggas gonna sit back and say, I'm gonna believe the Catholic Church, a false pagan church. I'm gonna believe what they say. I'm gonna believe people who touch little boys and condone the touching of little boys. Their word is gold. What does that say about you? Let's just go ahead and be real with it. If you take the word of anybody in the Catholic Church with no outside evidence to verify it, you breaking the law because you ain't got 2 or 3 witnesses to verify what they said, so you're going to hell for that. You know what I'm talking about? Let that be known. And then you're going to sit back and take the word of pedophiles. Nigga, if a pedophile told me a car was coming, I will look first. Because, nigga, you ain't got no scruples. You ain't got nothing about you to stop you from doing nothing. You touch children, cuz. You get sexually aroused at the thought of having copulation with a small boy. You know how sick your mind got to be to come up and say, you know what? That's a nice looking 5-year-old. I'm going to get at that nigga. No, it sounds funny how I'm saying it, but then you sit back and you look at it, what type of sick mind you got to have to where if that thought popped in your head, you thought it was acceptable to act on it. I'm like, a normal person don't have no thoughts like that. The reason why I say if that thought, because I know some of y'all might have thoughts in your head that you feel like are just as perverse as that. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is you don't act on it. Because the book also tells you got a perverse and corrupt mind if you believe that the gaining of material items is godliness. The book says your mind is perverse and corrupt like on that end. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said that there, because I don't want y'all to have it in your mind that that type of stuff is perverse and nothing else is. The point of the matter is if you have a thought that could be deemed by Yahuwah to be perverse, but you don't act on it. That's the self-restraint that the word can have. As Paul told you, you bring all thoughts under captivity to the obedience of Mashiach. But you have a thought like that come in your head and you act on that? Do you know how sick you got to be? Do you know how sick you got to be to profess to have faith in the true and living Elohim and then have them type of thoughts and act on them? I seen a nigga say, you suspect if you in the truth and still call y'all the Most High. I like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Suspect how? I'm going to proclaim the name, but if you ain't living right, you taking it in vain. So now you're not going to be guiltless. That's all niggas think about. Say the name, yeah, he told you to say his name. But at the same token, he wants you to represent what his name is about. Say his name with your behavior and your faith. And not just run around, Yahuwah, 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 Yahuwah. Niggas sit back, look at this wicked nigga head on. I don't want nothing to do with no Yahuwah, whatever you call it. I stick with my Jesus. That's how they look at it. That's how they look at it. I'm looking at the fruits. Them things solid. They bruised up. I don't like my oranges bruised. Apples got worms in it and dents and black spots. You don't want it. 5:31 man. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. There's another that bear witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witnessed of me is true. He sent unto Yachanan, and he bear witness unto the truth. But I receive not testimony from man. But these things I say that you might be saved. He was a burning and shining light, and you were willing for a season to rejoice in his light. But I have greater witness than that of Yachanan, for the words which Abba hath given me to finish, the works, my apologies, the same works that I do, bear witness of me, that the Father hath sent me. That's what you're supposed to have been looking at. He say, it's the works that I do. Look at what he told him in John chapter 10 real fast. John 10 and 36. And then we swing over here to 1 John chapter 5, man, by verse 7. It's like this here, right? I see the dude say, I see people falling away from the Messiah every day. I say, praise y'all for y'all who saw them. These things must be. Them wicked niggas out the way. Niggas always tell me we supposed to be nation building. No, you're not. You supposed to be winning souls for the kingdom, stupid, not nation building. You supposed to be winning souls to Elohim for everlasting life. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Nowhere in this book did he command you to build no nation. He didn't command Moses to build no nation. He built his own nation. You're going to build a nation. You can't build no nation because y'all might not want the people you're trying to build with. He didn't even sit back and realize that. He didn't want the people in the wilderness. He already knew the niggas were wicked. I don't want these niggas. This man say people been already preordained to salvation. Already my members were already written in the book. You were ordained to be saved from the fountain. I don't want you. That's a problem. You think he want all these niggas. He don't want all these niggas. And then you know what? Time go on and he show you why he don't want these niggas. And I say niggas in the literal sense. You're rotten. You're filthy. You're hypocritical. You're homemade. You're filthy. You're disgusting. You're vile. You're unbelieving. You're fearful. Everything the man despises. Workers of iniquity. That man don't want that. You have to transition your mind from thinking that of a natural kingdom and building a people up to what this man was trying to do, which is to build a kingdom of righteous souls and to win souls to him. If it's nation building, it's not about him, it's about you. I don't think we understand the difference. If it's about nation building, it's about you. It's no longer about him. It's only about him in word, meaning you're saying his name, but it's not really about him. When you talk about nation building, it's always going to be about you. What you can do for the people, you. Y'all don't need no help to build no nation. You see what he told Moses. I kill all of them and make another one up out of you. So nation building ain't the goal. You know what I'm saying? The nation building was him fulfilling the promise to Abraham that I'd give the fruit of your loins and multiply them. He told, you better remember what he told, what John the Baptist told them, scribes and Pharisees. Don't you sit and dare say you got Abraham to have as your father. He said, y'all is able to raise stones for Abraham up out of these children from up out of these stones to Abraham. So it ain't about nation building. It ain't about that. It's about winning souls to the kingdom of the living Elohim. That's what it's about. And if you ain't on that, then you ain't on what the man commissioned. Niggas doing opposite of what the book say. And think they gonna get a ticket. I don't care if niggas don't like it. It's the truth though. John 10 and 34. Yahushua answered them, is it not written in your Torah, I said ye are gods? If he called them gods unto whom the word of Elohim came, and the scripture cannot be broken. So the book can't be, scripture can't be broken. That's not going to happen. The book is not going to fail. He say, let Elohim be true and every man be a lie. The book ain't going to fail. He say, you can deny him. He say, but he will remain faithful. He cannot deny himself. I seen a dude talking about, we need to stop talking about we Hebrews, you need to prove you Hebrews. I don't need to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean on, and dudes entertain that. That means you really trying to convince yourself. Nigga, I don't, it's destroying black people. Well, hey, that's how you feel, bro. I'm not bothering you. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel the need to prove nothing to no one. People who feel the need to prove stuff to people are insecure, unconfident, and fearful, and unbelieving in what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel the need to prove nothing to nobody. You believe it, you believe it, you don't, you don't. Ain't no skin on my back. If it ain't real, I'm just going to die and never get up again. And if it ain't real, that means I abstain myself from all manner of wickedness and deceit and foul ways. That's what that's what it's that detrimental. Stop me from lying and whoremongering and killing and stealing and selling drugs and getting high and all these other things that are contrary to sound doctrine. He says, say ye of him whom the Abba hath sanctified and sent into the world, thou blaspheme, because I said I am the son of Elohim? If I do not the works of my Abba, believe me not. But if I do, though you believe not me, believe the works, that you may know and believe that the Father is in me and I in him. Therefore they sought again to take him, but he escaped out of their hand. That's how wicked these people were. That man said, if you don't believe what I say, believe what I'm doing then. They still wanted to kill him. That's how I know these niggas will kill him again. That's how I know these niggas don't believe. Because he said, if you don't believe what I say, then look at my works then. Because he just said Elohim spoke once and twice and men didn't perceive it. We already know they didn't know. We just talked about this. We already know they didn't know what he was talking about in the Old Testament. Now the master coming through saying it, John chapter 1. And they still wasn't getting it. Then we read 1 John chapter 1. And they still wasn't catching it. And guess what? People still ain't catching it now. Because I'm going to tell you something. Everybody, when they first get in the word, bro, no, he didn't say dreams were set by twos. He said Elohim spoke once, twice, and men perceived it not. Hello? Hello? John chapter 1. Verse 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shined in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. They didn't perceive it. So we just read this the other day. He commanded the light to shine out of darkness. So when the manifestation of the truth of the word came, men couldn't comprehend it. Elohim spoke once. I'll show you what I mean. John 6 and 44. I'll show you what I mean. Elohim spoke once, twice. Men didn't understand. Just bear with me, because we got to deal with what he means when he tell you, don't give your pearls before swine. He say, don't give them proverbs. Don't give it to them. And that word for perceive in Job 33 is sure. It's to see, to behold, to observe, to regard, to watch. And we know what watch is. It's to keep, to guard. So people are not catching this stuff. They're not perceiving it. The Father spoke, they didn't get it. The Son spoke, they didn't get it. I mentioned that before we started. The man said clear as day. Their heart are wax gross, lest they should hear with their ears and see with their eyes and understand with their heart, and they should be converted, and I should heal them. So when the Father spoke, they didn't perceive it. When the Son spoke, they didn't perceive it, because you got to remember, he told you in Isaiah 9, he shall be called the mighty Elohim. So Elohim spoke once, Elohim spoke twice, men didn't catch it. John 6 and 44. They didn't regard it. They disregarded it. No man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draw him out and raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, they shall be all taught of Elohim. Every man, therefore, that have heard and have learned of the Abba, come unto me. Hello? What's going on? When we look at that word for twice in Job 33, it's just literally twice. I just want y'all to know what the word is shanaim. And this literally means two. Second, in combination, both a dual number. That's all it is. Or twain. Hello? Hello? So if something's twain, that means it's one. And the son is one, you know what that is, right? That means they would be a card. I and my Father are one. And why did they want to stone him in John 10 when he said, because he said, thou being a man, maketh thyself Elohim. All we established in the Job 33 that Abba Yahuwah spoke, Yahushua HaMashiach spoke, meaning Elohim spoke once, Elohim spoke twice, and perceived it not. Just bear with me, y'all. It's a conclusion to it. It is written in the prophets, they shall all be taught of Elohim. Every man, therefore, that have heard and have learned of the Abba, come unto me. Not that any man have seen the Abba, save he which is of Elohim. He hath seen the Abba. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that believe on me, have everlasting life. See, a lot of people, they don't believe, because if you believe on the Son, you don't believe on the Son, you believe on him who sent the Son. And people don't believe on the man. They don't believe. I have no problem saying this because it's manifested in the earth daily by people's works. Come on back to Job, 1 John chapter 5, my bad. Then Job 33 again. But we're dealing with, do not cast your pearls before swine. And we're going to deal with swine. And we're going to look at what's, because you know you're looking at swine as a literal pig. But we have to look at swine and what swine can be represented as a person. The characteristics of what swine is and what it can represent. Because swine is something that is unclean. So we say don't cast them pearls before them. Say don't give it to them. But see, we're going to see what that means. Because that don't mean don't give it to a sinner. It's not what that means. It's not what he's saying. Because of course a sinner got to get it. Of course you know if you're a sinner, you're unclean. How else you going to get clean? How can a young man cleanse his way but taking heed according to thy word? So we're not talking about no sinners. Because the same way he say don't give it on the dogs, and niggas see dogs think they're talking about a Gentile. When he talking about no Gentiles, he say a rebellious, impudent, stubborn man, stiff-necked man. So if he's telling you not to give it to swine, then you would have to sit back and ascertain if he's telling you not to give it to swine, it's going to go along with what the dog is. A stubborn, rebellious, unclean person. A person that refuses to obey. A mocker, a scorner, a scoffer. Don't give it to him. Because when you turn, and you're going to see what's going to happen. Because when you turn around and you give it to them, they're going to kill you. They're going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was telling them, don't give it to them. Because you see what happened when he did it. You see what happened when the prophets, when they did it, they're going to kill you. See, I'm going to be honest with you, right? Be honest with everybody. People don't love y'all. And they're not going to love his servants, and they're not going to love his people. Let's just deal with that. Accept that harsh reality and stop playing games like everybody on the same type of time. Everybody got the same level of faith. Everybody riding for this man when you know it's a lie. When has that ever happened? That's never happened. If that happened, why did only 2 men, 20 years and older, get in the kingdom, get in the land? Why only Caleb and Yahushua son of Nun got in? Everybody believed. Everybody was walking around there talking about they believed. Everybody heard the same word. He said, but the word did not profit them, being mixed with the faith in them that heard it. They didn't believe it. That's why they didn't get in. So you can't be foolish enough to say we all believe the same thing, because we don't. You can't be that simple. Meaning naive. I ain't talking about stupid at this point. I'm talking about being naive. To think that everybody really believes this and everybody's on the same type of time. That is being naive. Everybody don't. And the first chance they get, your ancestors was ready to go back to Egypt. They were ready to go back. If they believe, why would they want to go back to where they were oppressed? But I got something coming for that. The oppressing part. I'll let you think on it. Because if you know the word well enough, you'll know the 2 verses that I'll be referring to. Well, the one verse in the New Testament and the direction that I'm going to go with it and how I'm going to deal with it. But one, he tells you that you surely oppressor make a wise man mad. And another place it tells you to envy not your oppressor and choose none of his ways. Y'all should know who your oppressor is. And it ain't no white man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our people, they love their oppressor. That's why they choose his ways. They love him. They don't love the person who come to free them. They showed you that in the wilderness. They loved the person who was oppressing them and beating them and keeping them in captivity and bondage. The person who came to free them, they despised him. What did Harriet Tubman say? I would have freed a lot more slaves if them niggas believed they were slaves. Them niggas love their oppression. I guarantee you all the niggas talking about, we want to be free, we don't want to be slaves. Minute somebody came to free them, these niggas forgot they were slaves. Don't sit back and think everybody believe the same thing. You can make your mouth fry fish now. I'll be trying to tell y'all to stop being simple. You better start paying attention to people's works. Their works gonna tell you everything they need to know where they face at. Because you can't fake that. One thing is certain, two things are so, man. You can only play the role for so long before you get exposed and you go to forgetting your lines and niggas showing that you were faking and playing. It's only so long fake thugs can pretend. You can't pretend to be. After a while, y'all gonna pull your skirt up and expose your nakedness. But y'all think it's a game. I see people fulfilling this book every single day, positive and negative. You understand what I'm saying? I see it every day. I'm talking about in small things and in big things. I see the salvation of Yahushua work throughout the earth every day. Because you know what y'all look for? Y'all look for salvation on the big level. Y'all looking for signs and wonders. Y'all don't even realize some of the situations he might have saved you from a person who could have took your soul to hell. I done seen him save people from people who could have took you to hell. I done seen him allow people to be captured by somebody who gonna take them to hell. Don't you know the book say those that are clean escape from them who are in error? Don't you realize if you get ensnared and trapped with people in error, that was y'all let you get trapped by them people? Don't you realize if he separates you from people who live in error, that was him that worked his salvation right in your face? Nigga, I'm riding in the car, nigga, my whole tire exploded. I don't even know it could explode and cause my whole, I was just riding down the street last night, your whole tire came off on the highway. He could have even, the car could have even spinned out, man, hit the embankment and he died. Same thing with me, that's his salvation work. We don't pay attention to it because you just look at it as a whole hum routine event. Then you hear that same thing happen to somebody else and they die. Because you want his salvation to be some magnificent, great thing. His salvation is to save you from sin. You niggas resist it. You don't want to be saved. You know what I'm saying? You know what the word part of that song just popping in my head? I can hear Satan just sitting around looking at y'all accusing you. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the master was meaning when he said, man, let the blind lead the blind, they both fall in the ditch. Let the dead bury the dead. They don't want to be saved, then don't let them be saved then. I don't know why y'all think that man was scooting around running after every nigga who ran away. You want to run away? Y'all feel like, see, you forsake me, I'll forsake you. Screw you, nigga, holler at you. You can't abandon this man and then feel like you can come back when you get ready. What type of person you take him for? You can't do natural people like that. Only a person with low self-esteem will let somebody do them like that. You come around when it's convenient for you. Then when it's no longer convenient for you, you don't show up no more. Then when you feel like you ain't got what you want, but when you left, now you want to come back. Ain't no coming back. You can't play with that man like that. Because you know why? Because you got in your mind that he always going to be there. But that man ain't told you he was always going to be there. This man's name is not Michael Jackson. He ain't write that song. He ain't sing that song. He's not always going to be there if you leave. Now, if you stay and you remain firm and faithful, oh yeah, he always going to be there. He said he'll never leave you and forsake you. And he meant that. But you can't leave and forsake him and think you can come back and he's going to be right there waiting on you. That man said he shut the door. Can't nobody unlock it. Don't play with him. That's your life you playing with. Don't play with it. 1 John 5 and 7. They get 5 and 9. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of Elohim is greater. For this is the witness of Elohim which he testified of his son. He that believe on the Son of Elohim hath witness in himself. He that believed not Elohim hath made him a liar, because he believed not the record that Elohim gave of his Son. And this is the record that Elohim hath given to us, eternal life, and the life is in his Son. He that hath the Son hath life. He that hath not the Son of Elohim hath not life. These things have I written unto you, that you may that believe on the name of the Son of Elohim, that you may know that ye have eternal life, and that you may believe on the name of the Son of Elohim. Notice that he said he's writing to those that believe. So he's not talking to everybody. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hear us. Notice he say according to, because you can ask this man or something, and it may not be according to his will. If it's according to his will, and you believe, he will not withhold that from you. See, a lot of y'all ask for stuff that's not according to his will, then you don't get it, and then you go after to get it for yourself, and then you're going to end up catching yourself outside the will of God and outside the kingdom of Samarim. Just that simple. Job 33. 33 and 14. We also hold in Genesis 46 and Proverbs chapter 1 and Matthew chapter 7. I'm just trying to tell you what y'all love, and that's the truth. You can believe it or you cannot believe it. It don't make man a bit different to me. Y'all word is right and true and exact, and righteousness is with him. You know what I'm saying? Period. That's what I mean when I be telling like I don't care. Because I'm not going to beat you across your head to get you to do right or for you to believe the word. I'm not going to do that. Because he said if they don't receive your testimony, dust your feet off on them as a testimony against them. I'm straight. He say tell them whether they hear or whether they forbear. Whether you hear it, whether you don't hear it, I'm not going to make you believe it. Steady keep telling you, steady keep telling you. I'm not going to do it. Because he told me not to do that. So fourth, the earth is flat. I ain't got to keep telling you that. If I believe the earth flat, I'm going to state my case and I'm done. It's a lot of dudes that I talk to who don't believe in Mashiach. I don't keep talking to them niggas over and over again trying to convince them. Talk to them one time. You reject the testimony and bring damnation against your own soul? Who am I to say y'all wrong for you to go to hell? Praise the Lamb. Let you go then. Clearly that was his will. Because if it was not, peradventure, he caused you from opposing yourself that you might be recovered from Satan. So he didn't allow you to be recovered. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Because I have nothing to do with whom heart he opened to receive the word, that they may believe it and obey it till their soul be saved. And I ain't got nothing to do with whom heart he hardens, so they do not believe the word and they don't obey it, that they might be damned. I have nothing to do with that. All I am is a conduit. That's it. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Period. You know what I'm saying? Nobody preaching the word has nothing to do with that. He said he have mercy on whom he will have mercy, and he harden whom he will, that he might have vessels who are aforetime prepared unto esteem, and he have vessels that are aforetime prepared for destruction, that his power might be made known in them. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But see, y'all hear that type of stuff, and you don't believe it because you don't like it, because you 9 times out of 10 sit on the side of destruction. You don't want to hear that. I'm talking about all our people. We don't want to hear that because we got this ideal of who Elohim is and how he's supposed to be. This man is a gangster. He told you that he's a man of war. That means he's a killer. That means a warrior. That means a soldier. That means he's just told you. He offset. That means he's rough, rigid, and harsh. At the same time, he's good, merciful, and gentle and kind. You got to know the goodness of Elohim and the severity. You can't look at the good part and then don't want to deal with the hard part. That's why people say, I don't like that Old Testament God. He mean. I like the New Testament. It's the same dude. The same quote-unquote gentleness and kindness and love in the New Testament. He showed it in the Old. You niggas were too wicked to see it. But it's crazy. See, he wasn't mean like the Old. That man would walk around cursing fig trees as an example of what he was going to do to people. Man, I'm telling you, man, I implore all of you. I beseech you by the mercies of our Elohim. Repent and save your soul. Believe the gospel and save your soul. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these people make no fool out of you, man. Don't let these sinners make no fool out of you. Don't let this world make no fool out of you. Don't let the adversary make no fool out of you. Save your soul. Like Peter said, deliver yourself from this untoward generation. But if you're going towards the untoward generation, it's because you untoward. Because you faithless, you unbelieving, you stubborn, you rebellious, you self-willed. You bringing damnation on yourself. And for what? What are you getting out of it? What was the gain? A temporary pleasure? Temporary pleasure sends people to a permanent place. And for what? I don't understand. Why? This man showed you such strong mercies that you go after wicked people and wicked places and wicked things. I don't understand it. 33 and 14. For Elohim speak once, yea, twice, yet men perceive it not in a dream. In a vision of the night, when deep sleep fall upon men and slumberings upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men and sealed their instruction, that he may withdraw men from his purpose and hide pride from man. He keep back his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. What do you think this means in the vision of the night when deep sleep fall on a man? Y'all know when a deep sleep fell on a man? Say when a deep sleep fall on a man. Adam. You say Adam was put in a deep sleep. And you know what happened with Adam? His wife got took up out of him. But then he say he opened the ears of men. And he opened the ears of men that he might see. So he uncovers and he removes, or he shows himself, or he reveals himself in the ears of men. Faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. It's another example of him preaching to the Ruachs in prison. Then when he say he sealed them, he'll fix the seal or the fasten, or you can sit back and look at the bringing in of the covenant to seal their instruction. To seal their instruction. So we coming back to Job 46 because we working with something. When we look at this here, that's Mosar. And that is discipline or correction. All right. So what we got? John 10:17. Therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life that I might take it again. No man take it from me, I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. The same way Jacob is getting that commandment in the vision of the dream to go down into Egypt, and that he would surely bring him up again. But then it says Joseph will put his hand upon his eyes. What does this mean? Well, we know the hand is the yard, or the right hand, or the strength of power of Elohim. He will put it on his eyes. The eyes being ayin, and that's the literal physical eyes, are mental, spiritual faculties, or a spring or a fountain of water. He said he'll put his hands on his eyes. Go along and find a verse that we need to pick it up after. Keep on going. It might be right here in 48. Go to Genesis 48. Probably about verse 5. Genesis 48 and 5. Come over here to Genesis 47 and 28. Matter of fact, that's even better. Genesis 47 and 28. Genesis 47 and 28. Jacob lived in the land of Mizraim 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Yasharal must die. And he called his son Yosef and said unto him, If I now have found favor in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Mizraim. But I will lay with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Mizraim, and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, Swear unto me, and he sware unto him, and Yasharal bowed himself upon the bed's head. Verse 1 of the 48th chapter. Came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick, and he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And one told Jacob and said, behold, thy son Joseph come unto thee, and Yasharah strengthened himself and sat upon the bed. Jacob said unto Joseph, Elohim appeared, El Shaddai appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and baruched me. He said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee. I will make thee a multitude of people. I will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. Now thy two sons Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Mizraim, before I came unto thee in Mizraim, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. And thy issue which thou begat after them shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren and their inheritors. As for me, when I came from Paddan, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan in the way, when yet there was but a little way to come unto Areph. And I buried her there in the way of Areph. The same is Bethlehem. And Yasharah beheld Joseph's sons and said, who are these? Joseph said unto his father, these are my sons, who Elohim have given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will baruch them. Now the eyes of Yasharah were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them, and he embraced them. Yasharah said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, Elohim hath showed me also thy seed. Now remember, said Joseph would put his hand on his eyes. He said, I would have not thought to see thy face. But he said, the Most High hath showed me your seed, your offspring, your issue. Let's deal with that. We see all in Job 33 and 5 verse 1. I need to reconcile those very, very quickly. When we look at show, its rise to see or to inspect or to perceive or to consider or to have a vision. Now remember, we just looked at Genesis 46 and 5. He said, when he bring you up out of that place, when he go down to that place, he'll bring him up again, and you'll put his hand, Joseph will put his hand upon thine eyes and cause him to see. So you were sitting back looking at it like you're going to see something where Joseph just literally just do this here and put his hands on his eyes. But what we see, what he's talking about here, is he allowed Joseph to see his seed or his offspring. And this will go to what he said in Isaiah 53, he shall see his seed prosper. Now, when we consider that, just pause and think on that since we reconcile this Proverbs chapter 1. Let's finish this Proverbs chapter 1, reconcile that and get that over with. While y'all think on that. It's 10:45. Proverbs chapter 1, we started about verse 6. You know, a whole lot of things out of that. We need to finish it. We have verse 4. My apologies. It says to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning. A man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb in the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. No, a proverb is a dark saying or it's a mystery. It's something that's not readily heard. It's something that's not readily understood. He told you don't give those proverbs to swine. Let's look at Leviticus 11. I got to reconcile all that though. We'll come back to Joseph. Him seeing his sons, seeing his sons. But I need to get all that. Look at Leviticus 11 when he said don't cast your pearls before swine. Now let's look at swine. Some of these things we're going to have to paraphrase. So we're starting to run a little longer than I would like to run. Leviticus 11 and 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he chew not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcass shall you not touch. They are unclean to you. Now, y'all already know that. Now, he also says that a pig is a what? It's an abomination. Let's look at something Isaiah 65. Isaiah 65 and 1. Actually, we'll drop down to probably about verse 3. He said, a people that provoke me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens and burn incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the graves and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh, and a broth of abominable things is in their vessels. He said, a broth of abominable things are in their vessels while they turn around and eat swine's flesh. Now, when we sit back and you look at this, and he said he lodged it in your monuments. They lodged it in your monuments. They're in graveyards. They're hanging out in graveyards, eating swine flesh, worshiping idol God. This is what your ancestors around here doing, which would make them unclean. This is why the master told them, let the dead bury the dead. Let the dead bury the dead. The word for monuments in this particular verse, though, is watch. It's the word for watch. It's not SAR, it's literally meaning to watch. To guard, to watch over, or to keep close, or to blockade, or hidden things. But then you see that verse is there, which remain among the graves. And this is literally a tomb or a burying place. It's kaval. Can you imagine, why is your people hanging around in graves when he told you in the 8th chapter of Isaiah, should not people seek to their Elohim and the living instead of the dead? See, when you're dealing with, when you're also talking about not casting your pearl before swine and not giving that which is set apart unto dogs, you begin to understand something, that these are people who provoke this man to anger. But look at the next thing he say about him in verse 5. Which say, stand by thyself and come not near to me, for I am more Kadesh than thou. These are a smoke in my nose and a fire that burn all the day. Come over to Luke chapter 16, because a lot of people say, oh, he think he holier than thou. This is talking about hypocrites. This is talking about people who live a particular way and then don't want somebody to come near unto them as if they are better than them. But yet you are evil and you are wicked. This is why this man said they are fire that burn in his nose all the day. And I'm sorry, that's Luke 18. I do that every time. Luke 18 and 9. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee, the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, Elohim, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I fast twice in a week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes unto Elohim, but smote upon his breast, saying, Elohim, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalts himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. See, that Pharisee just sat back and looked and even had the nerve to say, I'm glad I ain't like this nigga next to me. But he was just as wicked. Because he said, don't come to... How many times do you read, like in Luke 7, they say if he knew what manner of woman she was a sinner, he wouldn't let him touch her. This is the attitude that these people had, that they were holier than the people. They were better than other people. But yet they were committing all manner of iniquity right along with the people. And these are the people where he's telling you, don't give your pearls before swine. Let's look at an example of that in Matthew 21. Because he said, if you give it to them, they're going to rend you underfoot. And I'm going to show you when he gave his pearls before swine, when these people were ready to kill him. One of them we done already read. Matthew 21. Probably about a 40. Yeah, 41 is better. Then they say unto him, he will miserably destroy those wicked men, and will let out his vineyard unto other husbandmen, which shall render him their fruits in their seasons. And we'll come back to verse 28 too. But when you're looking at this one here, he ran that parable down about those men seizing on the man's vineyard. Yahushua saith unto them, did you not ever read in the scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected, the same as the head of the corner? This is Yahuwah's doing, and it's marvelous in our eyes. He's quoting book to him. Therefore I say unto you, the kingdom of Elohim shall be taken from you, and given to a nation bringing forth the fruits thereof. And whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, but on the whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder. And when the chief priests and Pharisees heard his parables, they perceived that he spake of them. But when they sought to lay hands on him, they filled the multitude, because they took him for a prophet. See, he done cast these pearls before swine. Now they're ready to trample him under their feet. Let's look at verse 28. Well, in fact, make it 24. Make it 23, because I just like how he talked to him. And when he came into the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came unto him as he was teaching, and said, By what authority do thou these things, and who gave thee this authority? Yahushua answered and said unto them, I will also ask you one thing, which if you tell me, I and likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things. The immersion of Yachanan, whence was it? From Shamahim or of men? And they reasoned within themselves, saying, If we shall say from Shamahim, he will say unto us, Why did you not then believe him? But if we shall say of men, we fear the people, for all hold Yachanan as a prophet. And they answered Yahushua and said, We could not tell. And he said unto them, Neither tell you by what authority I do these things. You know them some wicked niggas right there. Because they could have easily just said, it was about Elohim, and then he said why he didn't believe him, because we stupid, but now we believe. They could have easily done that. Their pride wouldn't allow them to do so. Because they want to know who gave you the right and authority to do this, because they felt like they were losing the sign. Wicked bastards. He said, But what think ye? A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first, and said, Son, go work today in my vineyard. He answered and said, I will not. But afterwards he repented and went. And he came to the second and said likewise, and he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not. Which of them twain did the will of his father? They said unto them the first. Yahushua said unto them, Truly I say unto you that the publicans and harlots go into the kingdom of Elohim before you. But Yachanan came unto you in way of righteousness, and you believed him not. But the publicans and harlots believed him. And ye, when you had seen it, repented not afterwards, that you might believe him. That's why John told him, he said, You old generations of vipers, who told you to flee from the wrath to come? Because they wasn't coming out there because they believed him. They were coming out there to run their mouth. See, it's a lot of people, when they they see the way of righteousness first, they don't believe it. Then when somebody else come behind it, they still don't believe it. And even when they seen it was of Elohim, they still won't repent. So they not getting in. There's another example. He's casting his pearls before swine, and they're going to trample him underfoot. And we're going to see where they're going to trample him underfoot. That's why he's telling you this. But sometimes we don't want to look at that. Come back to Job 33. We paused in Job 33 at verse 16, how he said he opened the ears of men to seal their instruction and to withdraw man from his purpose and to hide pride from man. When we look at withdrawing man from his purpose, what does he mean when he say he's withdrawing man from his purpose? Well, let's see what his purpose is. His work, his labor, his undertaking. He said he keeps back his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. He is chastened also with pain upon his bed, and the multitude of his bones with strong pain, so that his life abhorred bread and his soul dainty meat. His flesh is consumed away that it cannot be seen, and his bones that were not seen stick out. Yea, his soul draw near unto the grave, and his life to the destroyers. If there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness, then he is favorable unto him, and saith, Deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. And his flesh, and he shall pray. His flesh shall be fresher than a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth. He shall pray unto Elohim, and he will be favorable unto him. And he shall see his face with joy, for he will render unto man his righteousness. He look upon men, and if any say, I have sinned, and perverted that which was right, and it profited me not, he will deliver his soul from going into the pit, and his life shall see the light. We talked about this on Wednesday too, and clearly we're talking about the resurrection of the Master and all this, and we done dealt with that in the past. We're not going to go into that in great detail. But the key point of what he's looking at is the chastisement and the correction and the pain upon the bed. And you know the pain, let's see if I can look at this. Come over to the book of Acts. See, when you turn around and you get immersed, that's why he say, if you be sorrowful, though he say, Baruch those who mourn, for they'll be comforted. You know what I'm saying? Because you sit back and you look at the pain upon your bed when you're about to be immersed of all the wicked and perverse things that you did in your lifetime. And it should bring pain to your heart to know that you offended against this man and that you ought to be killed for it. Because Mashiach had great pain upon his bed. He was extremely sorrowful, even unto death. He'd been stoned. He'd been crucified. He had these thorns put in his head. All these things had them happen unto him. So he could deliver him from the grave or deliver him from death. We have to realize that when we look at being delivered from death. I don't think we look at those things because we be worried about the wrong things. This is Acts chapter 19, probably about verse 17. Look at what's going on right here, what these people do. And this was known to all the Yahudim and the Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus, and fear fell on them, and the name of the Master Yahushua was magnified. And many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds. Many also of them which used curious arts brought their books together and burned them before all men. And they counted the price of them and found it to be 50,000 pieces of silver. So mightily grew the word of Elohim and prevailed. Now he just sat back and said right here, right in this Job, right? As he's been chastened, your life, you abhor bread, you got the strong multitude of your bones with strong pain, and your flesh is consumed away. And he say he'll be able to you to deliver you from the pit, and all of these things. Because why are you in this pain? Because you sit back and you look at it. We all ought to be dead. How many of us can say we're not worthy of death? You know the thing that we don't want to come and do is like those people did, is they came and confessed their deeds. And then the other thing that we say pain upon the bed is that when you die with a Mashiach, you're preparing your heart for tribulation. You're preparing your heart to suffer with him. Let's look at an example of that in 1 Timothy chapter 2. Just what Paul writes Timothy and he's telling us. 2 Timothy chapter 2, my apologies, 2 and 12. Paul told you if you suffer with him, you'll reign in the kingdom with him. Same thing he telling Timothy. He wrote it to the Romans and told them the same thing. He said, if we suffer with him, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us. See, the thing is that suffering or that pain upon your bed, you don't want to suffer that. And that pain is to reject and refuse sin. And we don't want to do that. So I'll tell you something, right? A lot of dudes like to remove Mashiach out of play. I told you this before, because then they have no standard that they have to uphold and keep. Because Isaiah told you to lift up a standard unto the people, and for the people to look up unto that standard or that banner. Mashiach being lifted up on the pole is that standard. He's that banner that we're supposed to look to. Look unto me whom you have pierced. And they don't want to look unto him whom they have pierced, because then they have to look at the pain of chastisement upon your bed. Because he said, chasten thy son while there is hope, spare not for his crime. He said, spare not the rod, but beat thy son with the rod, to deliver his soul from hell. Which is what Job is explaining. And this is what it is referring to. In order, as many as he loved, he chastened and rebuked, therefore be zealous and repent. You know, I was going to grab Hebrews 12, but Hebrews 12 saying, no chastening feel joyous at the time. It's painful. But after it's over, it leads to peaceable fruits of righteousness. This is why he's telling you, you're going to cast your pearls before these people, because they don't desire that chastisement. They don't desire that correction. And when you bring that chastisement or correction, when you cast these pearls before them, they will kill you. Proverbs chapter 9. And then after that, Proverbs chapter 15. Proverbs 9, 7. Make it 6 though. Proverbs 9 and 6. I think y'all need to hear that and remember this. Forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding. Sometimes you have to be willing to forsake the simple, the dumb, the naive. Sometimes you might have to abandon them so you can live. He that reprove a scorner get himself ashamed. Get to himself shame. He that rebuke a wicked man get himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Let's look at something. Isaiah 53. He said, if you reprove a scorner, you're going to get yourself shamed. Well, these parables, he's just seen those parables that he spit in Matthew were reproving mockers. Let's see if he got shamed. Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53 and 3. See, that's the thing that people want. That when you sit back and you look at in Acts chapter 4, rather, if I'm not mistaken, Peter them reproved these people with the word. Matter of fact, come to Isaiah 50 after we read Isaiah 53 and 3. And then they were caught and they were beaten for the word. And they said they were counted worthy. They rejoiced because they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And that's Acts chapter 5. That they said that they were able to suffer shame for his name. They counted that to be, they were found worthy for that. Because they were approving scorners and mockers. They cast their pearls before swine and they got trampled underfoot. You wonder why people mock you or despise your words or laugh at you when you go to revealing this stuff about this man? Because you're casting your pearls before swine. You're not using enough wisdom to understand and notice that these people are unclean. They're abominations. When I say abominations, meaning they do the things that the abominable do. Things that this man utterly detests. That man say, you are the ones that justify yourselves before men, but Elohim know your heart, and those which are greatly esteemed among men are abomination before Elohim. Look at the things that Yahuwah counts as an abomination. And then think about that before you begin to speak to people. You want to reveal your pearl before swine, because they will kill you behind it. Because your parable will correct them. You'll be reproving a scorner, a mocker. He told you in the last time, Peter told you in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. He told you in the last time, there shall be mockers. That there shall be mockers. He said, this second epistle, beloved, I write now unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that you may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the Kadesh prophets, and the commandments of us, the apostles of the Master and Savior, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts. The scribes and Pharisees were scoffers, mocking the Master because they were walking after their own desires. That's why he tell you not to give your pearl before swine. That's why he told you not to give that which is set apart to dogs. Because they're not going to appreciate it, and it's actually going to be more detrimental to you. He was trying to give you a little bit of wisdom and skill and warfare in dealing with these people. Isaiah 53 and 3, he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief, and we hid it as it were our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Elohim, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our shalom was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Now let's look at Isaiah chapter 50. 50 and 5. Listen to him. Yahuwah Elohim have opened my ear, and I was not rebellious, neither turned away back. Same thing you've seen in Job. He opened his ear. If this man is opening your ears for you to hear Yahushua HaMashiach, how could you go back to sin? That's why he say those who have taken of the heavenly gift of the Ruach HaKodesh, it's impossible that they turn back. Because if you become a partaker of that, then you get the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. That's what he said the Comforter would do. It would testify of him. But in order for that to happen, he had to open your ear to the faith. How do you go back? You only go back because you didn't believe. That's what your ancestors did. I gave my back to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from shame and spitting. For Yahuwah Elohim will help me, therefore I shall not be confounded. Therefore I have set my face like a flint, and I know that I shall not be ashamed. He is near that justify me. Who will contend with me? Let us stand together. Who is my adversary? let him come near to you. That's going right back to what I was telling y'all what Paul told you in Romans chapter 8. What's going to separate us from the love of Mashiach? That's why Peter them jumped up and said they rejoiced. It sounded shame for this man's name. They counted a blessed thing to suffer shame for his name. You know, this man sat back, he got spit on. Ain't none of y'all got spit on. Ain't nobody spit on you for the word. Ain't nobody beat you for the word. But that man was willing to suffer that. These are the things where you say no chastisement at that particular time seemed joyous but grievous. But that correction was for the correction of the salvation of our souls. So when you turn around and you getting corrected for the word, you have to be willing to understand that. This man suffered shame and was trampled underfoot for rendering his parables to these people. Let's look at another place, John 10 and 30. Look what these people want to do when he spit these parables to these people. Y'all know what the end result, what happened to him. They killed him. He said, I and my Father are one. Then the Yahudim took up stones again to stone him, and Yahushua answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of these works do you stone me? And the Yahudim answered, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, because thou, being a man, make thyself Elohim. And we just start in verse 25 when he told them, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. He said, but you haven't believed because you're not of my sheep, as I have told you. Do you not understand that the master looked at these people and told these people, y'all ain't none of mine? And we walk around here like everybody belonged to this man when he was looking at these people in their face and told them they wasn't his. Y'all don't think that wasn't harsh? That's a harsh, hard thing to tell somebody. Well, you ain't none of mine, cuz I already told you this. I don't even know why you keep coming around here. Let's look at verse 26, right? Look at 25. You can see what the man said. This is pretty harsh in my opinion. I don't know how y'all might feel about it. Yahushua answered, I told you and you believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness to me, but you believe not because you're not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My Jesus wouldn't have told nobody that. But he surely looked at people in the face and told them, you're not mine. And I told you this. I've already told you this. Why do you keep coming around here? Every time this man offered his pearls or these proverbs to these people, they wanted to render him underfoot and they wanted to kill him. That's why he's telling you, don't give your pearl before swine. He letting you know, you give your pearl to these people, they're going to kill you. Paul was giving these pearl to these people, they wanted to kill him. Let's finish this Genesis 48 and get out of here, man. Looking at Genesis 48 and 10, where he said he was dim, and he said, and Yasharah said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, Elohim have showed me also thy seed. Come over here to Luke chapter 2. We'll carry some of this into tomorrow. I think this will tie into some of the stuff in the genealogy we got. So we don't get a lot in one night. Luke chapter 2, right? Verse 25. And behold, there was a man in Jerusalem whose name was Simeon. The same man was just and devout, waiting for the consolation of Yasharal, and the Ruach HaKadosh was upon him. And it was revealed unto him by the Ruach HaKadosh that he should not see death before he had seen the master's Messiah. You know that Yasharal did not see death till he seen Elohim have taken away my reproach, which is Joseph, which is Joseph. And he told him, once you go into Mizraim and you come back down again, I'll allow you to see him. He'll lay his hand on your eyes, allow you to see. I've not thought